Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're starting a new show this week. It will alternate with Ben's Album Challenge every Sunday. So it'll either be Ben's Album Challenge or it'll be this show, which is called Monster Hits. So what is this show about? Okay, so basically I choose a year. In this case, I've chosen the year 1969. I go through a list of big hits for that year and choose 5 songs from that list and rank them. So what is the qualification? So I just pick the 5 songs that I personally like the best, and I'm just going to rank them according to which ones. Sorry, got an ant on my foot. I'm just going to rank them according to which one I like best, and I'll just give you a brief synopsis of the song and what it is I like about it and why it's my favorite or why it's my second favorite or so on down the line. I originally was just going to take 5 songs at random and rank them, but I decided that I would pick ones I liked. It's just more fun that way for me. So here's the thing. I'm going to pick 5 songs and rank them from that year. I'd like you to do the same. Pick your 5 favorite songs and rank them. This way we might get more of a consensus of which songs might be the best ones. If you get enough people, maybe get 10 or 12 people ranking their songs, maybe 1 or 2 of these songs might end up being players in everybody's list, and then we get a kind of a real census of what this is about. Anyways, this is just for fun, basically. It's an episode that'll come out, like I said, every second week, alternating with Ben's Album Challenge. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so I've chosen 5 songs that I like a lot, and I thought about them. There was a couple I had put on here, and I scratched them out because I saw something that I thought I probably liked better. So I think I got a good shot here of getting the 5 I like the most, and that's the whole thing. Just so you know, this is what I like, and you're going to write what you like, and then maybe we'll get a sense of what people generally like. Okay, so I have, like I said, 5 of them, all by different bands. I'm not going to pick 2 from the same band, even though they're, in the case of a couple of these bands, they both have more than one hit that made the radio that year. So, but I chose the one I liked the best of those hits. So coming in at number 5, of course, from the legendary Beatles. It had to be a Beatles song in the 1960s, right? You had to have one on the list. I like this song quite a bit. It wouldn't be my favorite song on this particular album, but because it's a Beatles hit and was established as a monster hit, I chose it for the list. And so we're talking about the song Come Together, a song that actually was redone by Aerosmith too, which I also liked quite a bit. So I liked both versions. This is a great song, kind of a catchy beat. I really like the lyrics. I like the sound, I love the bass kind of line that's on this particular song. So that's why I chose it. It's coming in last, but it made the list, so that means it wiped out all the other ones I looked at to get in there. So coming in number 5, Come Together. Number 4, not as rocky a song as most of the other tracks that I looked at and the ones I chose for the list, but I've always liked the kind of catchy riff and the vocals of this particular track. I think it probably was the beginning of one of the beginning songs that led to that dance music, but it's got a real kind of catchy beat to it, and I'm talking about Venus by Shocking Blue. And the girl, of course, is just inconsequential. The girl is just part of the fixture. Anyways, I can never get that word out. Anyways, great tune. I like the upbeat. I like her vocals on this. I think this version is better than some of the 70s versions that I've heard. I just prefer the whole kind of psychedelic feel to this particular track by this particular group, which is Shocking Blue. Okay, the number 3 song, Canadian band. a Canadian band from the 60s that actually did very well. There wasn't a lot of them back then, but this band was a big band in the 60s. They did a lot of numbers. This maybe not their best song of all time, but definitely one of my favorites. It easily made this list, and it comes in at number 3, and we're talking about No Time by the Guess Who. Great tune, you know, that riff at the beginning, that kind of drum beat that fills in there. Of course, Burton Cummings' vocals are fantastic on this. I love the guitar soloing part by Randy Bachman. I just think this is just a classic Guess Who song. I don't see how any list could not have this tune on it, and it's on my list anyways. Okay, so the next song up in the number 2 spot, barely beating out No Time. This was a bit of a thought. I had to think this through, and I just came to the conclusion that I just enjoy this song just a tiny bit, maybe a hair more than that No Time, but for the same reason. Some real catchy riffs here. I love the vocalist, of course. I love the lyrics on this song. And this guy's one of the best lyricists, also Canadian, ironically. And that is Neil Young, and the song is Cinnamon Girl. This is one of the great tracks by Neil Young. One of my favorite by him. Just so catchy, so memorable, so perfect in so many ways. So you're saying, if this song is so good, why isn't it number 1? Well, because number 1 was always going to be number 1 here. This is a great song, a song that was one of my favorite by this band, still is one of my favorite by the band. I love the bass riffing on this. I just think it's so catchy. It's such a bluesy kind of song, but such memorable lyrics, sung by one of the great singers of his time. And we're talking about Led Zeppelin, and the song is Ramble On. To me, there's no finer song released in this year, 1969, than this particular track, Ramble On. And so Led Zeppelin will win this, as they often did when I was a kid on all those radio shows. But for today, they're going to win this one with Ramble On. So there you have it. Those are the 5 monster hits that I chose for this monster show today, and their position. So you reiterate them, going 1 to 5 this time. So you got Ramble On, Led Zeppelin, number 1. Cinnamon Girl, Neil Young, number 2. No Time by the Guess Who in at number 3. And Venus on the Shocking Blue, number 4. And of course, Come Together from the Beatles, rounding out the top 5. Some people might put the Beatles higher. I'm sure they will. So that's my top 5. That's the way I see them. The monster hits from 1969, that's the way I view them. Please go down in the comments, put your top 5. I'm curious to see how people view this. I'll bet you $1 that there'll be people that will put down there, and none of these 5 songs will be on there. That's why this is so subjective, but it's just a chance to discuss the music of 1969 and the great hits that came out that year. And these are my 5. Please give me your 5 below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Tell me how you feel about me doing this series. Is this series a waste of time? Is it too subjective? Or do you think it's fun? Do you think it's good? Do you think we'll get a lot more stuff involved by doing it this way? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next week when we have Ben's album challenge on Sunday. So take care. Bye.